The Cheating Death Podcast is a comedy, random, and truth-seeking podcast containing information, subject matter, language, and course material that may not be suitable for all listeners. Your discretion in this matter is advised. If you have any questions, contact us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. On today's episode of the Cheating Death Podcast, we discuss the Manhattan Project, which employed over 130,000 people at its peak. We provide you with an all-new top 5, an all-new Annihilation Announcement, joke of the episode, and more. So grab yourself a coffee, put your feet up, grab a blanket, and let us tell you how you can cheat death. This is your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this is your Annihilation Announcement. The Manhattan Project took place over 80 years ago, and its effects are still being felt generations to this day. It is led to believe that there were over 130,000 individuals working at the Manhattan Project at its peak. It is identified that this was no way, shape, or form an accident. The United States of America took charge and made the decision that left hundreds of thousands of people dead, millions displaced. So, the Manhattan Project, was it the right thing to do? That, dear listener, is something for you to decide. This has been your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this is your Annihilation Announcement. Willkommen, meine Freunde. Guten Morgen, guten Tag, eine gute Nacht. Ist deine Reisende, deine Ausländer, deine Allesfresser, deine Cleric of Chaos. The Manhattan Project, a clandestine affair, a covert operation put forth by the United States government and the Central Intelligence Agency and the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the 1930s and 1940s. The Manhattan Project at its peak employed over 130,000 people in order to ensure that the creation of the nuclear bomb was attained. It was absolutely insane to identify that back in the 1930s and 40s there was 130,000 people working on one particular project, when at that given time the global population was no more than 2.5 to 3 billion. We take into account and take into consideration the reasons behind the Manhattan Project's formation. America simply wanted to end the war, and they wanted to emerge victorious. In the battlefield of war, it is widely known that if you are to have any hopes of success or winning, that you must be ahead of your adversary. You must think differently. You must try to come up with new ways in order to circumvent the calamity that these particular adversaries create. So when we take into consideration exactly how this was done throughout the 1930s, under President Harry S. Truman, in addition to other members, politicians, organizations, specifically dealing with the CIA and the FBI, a decision was made. Not very popular decision, but a decision nonetheless. It was confirmed and approved through President Harry S. Truman that through the Manhattan Project, there would be scientists that would be transferred, so to speak, from their home bases in Europe all the way over to the bright, shiny, beautiful stars and stripes in the United States of America. The caveat of this, the warning of it, so to speak, was that these individuals in whom they have recruited are individuals who had ties to the SS, who had ties to the Einsatzgruppe, who had ties to the evils that were committed throughout the 1930s and 1940s. The United States was quick to invite these scientists to America to assist them in their creation of the nuclear bomb. Scientist Werner von Braun, widely known for being one of the accelerators of the American space race, was also a member of the clandestine organization known as the Einsatzgruppen or the SS. There were many individuals in whom were involved in the Manhattan Project, in whom were associated or directly affiliated with the SS, with the Einsatzgruppen, with the Third Reich, with everything and anything in between. Yet in the name of science and in the name of progress and in the name of national security, these guys were given a pass. Given a complete and utter bye through to the final tournament. Now, obviously, this was a completely different time. We didn't have any internet, nor did we have any significant advancement in telephone communication. So what took place as of that time, it wasn't exactly the greatest thing to keep a secret, but it was kept a secret because the country more than likely would have revolted. We take into account what life would have been like if we had social media back in the 1940s and 1950s, and one would argue that life would have turned out a lot differently. We take into account our minds now versus our minds then. We take into account a litany of circumstances. But understanding that specifically and directly, the Manhattan Project, which employed over 130,000 people, led directly to the creation of Fat Man and Little Boy, the nuclear bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan in 1945, the 6th of August and the 9th of August respectively, we can see for ourselves that it didn't need to come to that. We did not need to drop nuclear bombs on a country, especially in citizen areas. It makes zero sense with respect to the dropping of bombs onto citizen-related areas, civilian-related outdoor places, and just not really giving a damn whether or not you take out a couple of innocents to begin with. The Manhattan Project was a very, very devious, very evil campaign. One would argue the world would be a much different place if it hadn't have taken place. And one could argue that none of us would have been born had this have taken place. The Manhattan Project did not need to be the Leviathan it was, but it existed. It created a lot of jobs, it gave people money, but it also created calamity and chaos, and it ended life. So to that, the Manhattan Project did not need to exist. What are your thoughts on the Manhattan Project? Email us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. At the top of today's program, we promised you a top 5 list, so given that it's the holiday season, we give you a list of our top 5 favorite holiday lattes. Coming in at number 5, we have the Peppermint White Mocha from Starbucks. Coming in at number 4, we have the Peppermint Mocha from Starbucks. Coming in at number 3, we have the Caramel Brulee Latte from Starbucks. Coming in at number 2, we have one of the best Christmas ideas and or holiday ideas to have ever existed known to man, and that is the Chocolate Christmas Milkshake. And coming in at number 1, of course, who could ever forget the Salted Caramel Mocha Strato Frappuccino from Starbucks? What is your top 5 favorite holiday beverages lattes? Feel free to email us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. Today's joke is brought to you by the Cleric of Chaos. They often say that tools and equipment, they mean a lot. And I understand that the reason why I have a stepladder is because my real ladder left me when I was 5. Manhattan Project outlined and sheer designed. The power, the force, the nature of the program changed the very world that we see today. Would we have been better off without the inclusion of nuclear arms in World War II? Would there still be battles waging to this day? We do not know for certain. All we know is that the Manhattan Project existed and it led to the development, the testing, and the execution of 2 nuclear bombs being dropped on foreign soil. No matter how you look at it, the amount of death that was spread across the land those 2 days did not need to happen. It did not need to take place. But we are now in a new time, a new era, and it is now up for us to figure things out. Thank you for joining us today. Take care of yourselves and each other. The Cheating Death Podcast is brought to you by Nach dem Leben CRDVC, Chaos Realm Records, and CR Deutschland. We are available on all major podcasting platforms. Please visit our friends and the links in the episode's description below. And if you'd like to support the program, you may do so at the links in the episode description below with either a one-time gift, a monthly supporter subscription, or you can book a meeting for your upcoming artistic endeavor, or you may book a music lesson at linktr.ee/clericofchaos. If you're experiencing psychiatric duress, call 1-800-273-8255 or dial 988 from your mobile phone in the United States or Canada. If you're experiencing domestic violence, call 1-800-799-7233. And if you're looking at adopting a playful puppy or a cute kitten, please visit your local animal adoption rescue center. Life is never an easy road to travel. We have been telling you this numerous times at the conclusion of each episode over the course of the past little while, but it is within you to succeed. You can, and you will fight, and you will prevail. Remember, we're pulling for you. We're all in this together.